it gets more. But yeah, consistently.
All right,
because
let's
I've been
rock it.
playing
I wasn't
so
planning
many
on
lengthy
streaming, but
RPGs.
I guess, I mean, why not? It just got off
Part
like 2.5 hours.
115
Why not just
of
finish
Baldur's
this
Gate 3
podcast?
probably isn't going to get
Just
a lot
give me
of
a second
viewership,
to set up my
but the
whole
Level 1
gimmick.
podcast has consistent viewership every single day.
He's
And
crying
I
about
also
views now, by
appreciate
the way, but
fact
you can hear him.
that you guys come and support this channel on the podcast every day on the streams. I really appreciate that. There's been some days where like all of the support comes in during the podcast. And I want to let you know how much that means to me, because without that, this channel would flounder and fail, and it doesn't, because you guys hang out with me every day on this show, and I really, really, really appreciate that. So thank you, everyone who's here and likes the podcast work. In fact, in the last couple of months, there were some random nights with really nothing to do because things kind of went wrong with the schedule, and we just did hangout sessions, and those did really well too, meaning viewership and support and everything was great, as opposed to me just doing another installment of the same RPG, stream 47 of the RPG or whatever. So again, I do have to emphasize, right now we're in RPG overload, but we're really not going to be doing this often, nor if I can even help it. Baldur's Gate 3 was kind of the exception to the rule. I knew getting into it how long it was and what that was going to do, and it absolutely, at 100%, everything I predicted came to fruition. Views on this channel.
All right, gimmicks are online. We're live, everybody. Welcome. This is Swaycast 30, I guess.
Okay.
I guess.
Good news is that
let's just do the podcast and everybody can go home
and
take a nap or something. I don't know.
Okay. But for those of you who have been coming to the podcast, regardless of what I'm playing during the day, thank you so very much. You are basically like the core supporters of this channel. I know that. Like, you don't.
And now we're just like appealing to sympathy and
time
shit.
To support, and I really, really appreciate it.
Very nice. What a great time to tune into the podcast.
So now, let's talk. Let's do a quick recap of what happened on yesterday's streams. Baldur's Gate 3. Yesterday, I completed 2 of the big endgame quest lines that everyone says are a problem. Like, everyone says that this one particular boss fight is the hardest or second hardest in the game, depending on how hard of a time you have with the end of the game.
Oh man, we're talking about this game again. I think I made a mistake streaming. I forgot this is what all the streams are about.
One, like everyone says it's the super frustrating thing of the game. Well, let me tell you how it went. First of all, the Ansur dungeon, meaning there's a quest line where you're trying to go underneath a secret area in Baldur's Gate, where supposedly there is a dragon sleeping that you can awaken, and the dragon will help you in the final fight against the Elder Brain. All right, now I don't want to spoil the finale of this plotline because it's quite interesting and actually has, which I didn't know, key lore to the world of Baldur's Gate 3. You find out some interesting key factoids about certain characters that otherwise may have gone completely unknown if you didn't do this quest line. I found it interesting that they hid this like actual lore in this one quest line, and you never would have known it otherwise. That's pretty wild. Anyway, finished the quest line, and after this really, really tense boss fight, where basically I won it by the skin of my teeth, no exaggeration, it was the absolute last second, last hit before I was obliterated and I won, I got ultimate loot. Like a super duper good sword and a super duper good helmet that I put on Lae'zel. So now for the end game, she's like ultimate final form. Seriously. So I'm very happy that I did that all in one try. It wasn't like I had to do multiple tries or anything like that.
I'm very happy you did that too.
And a lot of people were like, whoa, that's cool, because a lot of people,
then he would have been crying that he didn't, and we would all have to listen to it.
I just immediately did it on the first shot, but it was very close. It was like down to this, super, super close. Okay? So then after that, the only thing really left before I have to go fight Gortash, okay? Which is the last piece of the puzzle left before we go to the end game, the actual conclusion of the game. The only thing left is this place called the Iron Throne. It is an underwater prison. And from what I'm to understand, the prisoners in the prison...
Oh, I feel like one of them right now.
...on the plot and what you've done in the game. So, for example, if you have encountered certain characters in the game, and if you have encountered or done certain side missions, those characters will actually show up as prisoners in the Iron Throne. If you didn't do that, like if you didn't thoroughly explore the game, there's actually less prisoners down there. But then, of course, there's less to do, and I don't know if there's more rewards if you actually, have more people to save or whatever. I'm not sure. And unlike anything else in the game, besides maybe one other mission, it's timed, meaning as soon as you arrive at this underwater base or prison,
I don't think we even have gaming news for today because it says chill podcast. And whenever that happens, technically means that nothing is happening.
So you have to be your best self. You have to basically have...
The greasy covered undershirt really sets the tone.
Well, this I don't like this outfit, but it's one of those where he has an undershirt, so that kind of make things a little more bearable. It's not that bad.
By the way, just so you guys know, and by the way, hello Cracker Jacks, because he tagged me. He says, "How's it going?" It's good to see you. Basically, I was getting anxiety about this mission. You may have noticed that I ran into the entry point of this mission many hours ago. I think it was around like the 110-hour mark, and here we are 20 hours later, and I'm finally getting around to do it. So why did I take so long? Because everyone gave me anxiety about it. Everyone basically told me...
They gave him anxiety.
...that this particular quest is so difficult that most people are so annoyed and frustrated by it, they have to do it multiple times, that a lot of people just do it and end up half the prisoners die or get stuck, and it's very frustrating. They have to
but those people don't have chat play the game for them and tell them all the right outcomes and all the right decisions.
Maybe I won't do it.
That's why.
I was of the opinion, maybe I won't do it. Right?
And now he's breezing through it because, of course, everybody just tells him what to do at any moment.
Then I was like, all right, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to save it until the absolute last moment, so that way I'll have the best equipment, everything will be the best, so hopefully I'll be able to ace it, right? So, obviously, I don't want to completely spoil it, because, again, this was another nail-biter. It was literally down to the last
was it black?
Last turn.
It's a nail-biter.
I thought I had aced it, meaning... I had my party split. I basically had my slower characters move in one direction. I had Karlak, who's like super duper crazy momentum. I had her go in another direction. And I had Lae'zel, who has multiple turns and bonus actions, go another direction. So 3 different directions to try to free all the prisoners in this underwater base. And people were trying to help me, of course, which was very useful. And I want to say, anyone who was there, thank you. They were giving me all these tips. They were like, yeah, definitely use your summons. Your summons will have extra turns. They'll be able to help you. You can use magic to hit the levers, and it opens the cells, so now the prisoners are free. I immediately noticed that one of the key prisoners actually had a, not a curse, but something else on him. I can't remember what it was considered. It wasn't a curse. It was something else. I think a charm. So I was able to cure the charm, heal him. And there were some problems. Like, for example, how dumb does this sound? Your friendly people are crowding a door, so you have to waste a turn because you can't walk out the door because your friendly people are standing in front of it and refuse to step aside for you to go through the door. I just wanted you to think about this. There's a crowd of your friends and allies in front of a doorway. It's not possible for you to say, hey, I need to get through that door. Please just scoot aside for half a second. How does that make any sense? But not in this game, because this game adheres to the strict D&D rules. If someone's in front of a door, it's as if there's a giant boulder there. They refuse to budge or move. It doesn't make any sense. It's really stupid. But what are you going to do? Okay?
What the fork is this vape trash again? As a new pot guy that desperately needs to quit, I am intent on bringing others down with me. Smoke cigarettes.
No, it smells too much in my office, dude. It bothers me. It's annoying. The vapes smell a little bit less bad. So there you go.
I basically had some issues there.
And it's also toxic.
And then I had a little bit of confusion at the end, because I couldn't, like for example,
I'm completely completely checked out of this whole Baldur's Gate discussion because I haven't been following anything.
Special stuff going on.
I mean, it's the same thing,
and it's not
every day.
You know,
I just can't.
Or anything, and it's not clear how much movement they have. So I almost screwed myself because I was in the impression this character would be able to help like
5 euros from Rutama 96. He looks like an extra in a crappy Steven Seagal Mexican cartel movie where he plays a guy that dies in a drug selling standoff that goes wrong.
Yeah, he's like the first guy that Steven Seagal kills. And it's like, or maybe the last guy, so he can kill him in the most like spectacular fashion. Because, you know, if you watch some of those shitty movies, he just throws people through drywall and blows them up and stuff. He's badass like that. Except that one movie that while they were filming it, he decided he wants to be a pacifist. So they had to reshoot certain scenes to make it seem like the bad guy didn't get killed by Steven Seagal, because Steven Seagal didn't want to kill anybody in a movie about him killing people because he's Steven Seagal.
100% did that. Never were they stuck in a doorway. Never were they like, oh, they're barred or enemy stopped them. They literally all ran straight for the ladders and straight to the sub. I think one of them didn't make it. And I'm like, so what did I do wrong? Like, everything I did seemed
And
right,
you also
but
got
I
an
think one of
interview
them
with the
got
guy who
down
played
there,
the villain,
they ran out of
explaining
Now, that's
Steven
the problem
Seagal,
that
how he
Larry
approached him and
didn't
was
fit.
like,
I
"Hey
don't
man,
give
I actually don't want to kill
AI
anybody, so can
and I
we
don't
make it like you
color
didn't die?"
So maybe if they
And
moved
the original
slightly
shot was
more in
like
one
Steven
direction,
Seagal
letting
blowing
all
that
ways,
guy
maybe
away,
had it
and
up
that dude
and
just
escape.
falls over
But
and
I'm pretty sure
dies in
one
the
of them
most
got
blatant
stuck. I'm
fashion.
almost
So they had to
positive because
reshoot it
I
so
was
the guy
counting the
then
seats on the
moves a
sub,
little
and it
bit
seemed like
after
there
he
was
falls
one
over
NPC.
to indicate
And I'm
that he's
like,
still alive.
that's not my fault. It wasn't someone that I was controlling. It's not something I could have helped. It was the AI's job to get on the sub after I freed it, and they didn't do it. And that's really stupid.
Yeah, it's stupid. I agree.
Anyway, we're not sure. And the reason that we're not sure is because my stream literally ended as we all got on the sub and escaped. And then basically there was more, like one person wanted to talk to me, and then there was more going on. And I was like, well, I'm out of time. I can't do this now, right? So when we play again tomorrow, we'll follow up and we'll see. But basically in one stream, I got the whole answer, dungeon, and quest line done, and the Iron Throne. Those were the last two holdouts. Now the only thing left to do is to go into the Steelwatch Foundry and disable all the robots, to fight Gortash and take him out.
Oh, we got a little bit of skip juice. Let's just slurp it all away.
Time consuming. So we'll see. But we are on pace to finish the game this week, or if not, then probably very early on next week we'll wrap it up. Okay? No, see, Cracker Jack says, did you get the trophy? I don't know when you get the trophy. We were on the sub, we drove away, and then we're still on the sub. We haven't even gotten off the sub yet. And everyone, like, someone wanted to talk, and that's when I saved the game. And we're going to resume that tomorrow. So I don't know if you're supposed to get the trophy when you're on the sub, when you're off the sub. I have no idea. So, I don't know. Okay. So, that is Baldur's Gate 3. Now, last night, in Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, things also went very,
Oh
very
no,
well.
this is even more boring. Because it's the game that actually nobody kind of cares about. Unanimously. That's why they don't support it. No, I'm not going to be watching the React stuff. I don't think I feel like
we
it.
had to run across the entire map of Hawaii while there were enemies everywhere. And you just kept getting attacked from every direction. So it's basically like a giant combat gauntlet, okay? While we were doing that, two of my characters maxed out their jobs. So I think Tomi maxed the samurai
And
class.
since I'm going to make that choice, that means today he's going to have some crazy, explosive, ridiculous segment, and I'm going to miss it. Because there's a certain type of FOMO that comes with like restreaming him when you can have like 15 streams when he just talks about Baldur's Gate and then read some fake news. And then you can have one stream you decide to take a day off and he tells you to eat shit out of his fucking ass. And then I gotta come and do like a delayed stream just so I can watch it while it's still fun.
So I put him in the party, and I don't want to spoil who it is, but I put him in the party, replaced Tomi, and he has a default class.
It is the worst. It was the worst when Cat got re-announced and re-presented and re-revealed because it was literally like 5 a.m. for me. So even if I wanted to watch it, I'm not gonna stay until 5 a.m. to see Cat.
So I said instead of
And then
that,
I didn't make it
why
in
don't
all
we go
those
back
compilations
to
of people
optional
reacting to
dungeons? Why
that,
don't
which
we
was
start
so much fun,
second
man.
level
Those
of the
those are
optional
amazing.
because we're gonna need to grind. Basically, I started yesterday's stream. The Kiryu team in Japan was like level 42, 43. Okay, when it swapped back to Hawaii, they were only level 38, and I was like, oh, that's
I'm also very glad that we didn't have a disaster moment today on TBS. I think it was good for the most part. I'm gonna check out the audio later, but I think it was all right.
So we went in there, and
Because I can't even like fucking drink anymore. I used to just sit around and drink, and everybody would do the work for me. And now I gotta do the work for myself. What is this?
Again Monday night. First of all, I'll
What does that
definitely finish
mean?
the second half of the level 2 dungeon, but I don't know if we should do
Life
the level
isn't
3. I
fair,
think we
man.
could do the level 3, but it's probably going to be very time consuming.
But I'm gonna drink now.
It's going to grind my party to the point where
And if I drink enough, maybe I'm gonna watch the react, but I don't think so. So don't get your hopes up.
Be able to beat everything and just cruise through the story. So it may make sense to do like a whole stream of dungeon grinding just to prepare the Hawaii team for the end of the game, so we can have smooth moving for the rest of the game.
Yeah, the time zone thing is not that big of a deal because on the day stream it's fine because now it's like 8:30 p.m.
So excellent.
So that's fine with me. It's like after work, I have plenty of time after this or before this to have time for myself and everything else. And I can just do like what an hour and a half, 2 hours to just watch this dude during the hypest podcast moments in podcast history.
And maybe bring back another game. Like I said, maybe we could have Final Fantasy as a late night stream. Maybe we could try Battlefront again because apparently they've patched it and it works much better now. I could also start scheduling co-op streams with my wife because we're going to start a Beyond Two Souls co-op, and I'm dying to do that. And also, of course, we can say, what's the other game that we want to play?
Did his chat actually freeze up, or oh yeah, it didn't.
Something different. We can figure that out.
Just nobody saying anything.
So, good stuff, good progress, on pace.
Good
We're
progress.
doing well, and I hope that you guys will. I hope that you guys will continue. Record what happened. Get the hell out of here. Just so you guys know, I have my Xbox on for today's react shows. And what happens is on Xbox, when you don't press a button for an extended period of time, this pop-up occurs. And the pop-up is supposed to be representative of like achievements in whatever game you're in that you didn't get yet. But if you're in an app, like I was in the YouTube app, it just pops up this screen that shows like a controller, and it's like super blue. And not only is it hurting my eyes, but it showed up. I looked more blue on the show because the
bro. Why do you think we care about this? Actually.
Anyway, so now I went back to the dashboard. Hopefully, it won't happen. Anyway,
for context purposes, for transparency purposes.
Next week, we'll see what happens, but let's see how long it takes us
for
to
purposeful purposes.
Okay? Cool. So yesterday went well. Like I actually was happy with the progress we had yesterday, and I just want to say this. If you're someone who liked Dragon's Dogma 2 on Friday,
okay, so this is
not playing it right now.
This like his discussion right now is like somebody trying really hard to distract themselves from something that concerns them. Like, you know, you just like keep yapping so you don't think about something. That's kind of how it comes across to me. But then again, that's him every day, so I guess everything concerns him all the time.
I'm with you. I agree with you. This is kind of
he agrees with me.
Thing. We have to finish these games. That way they're out of the way. We can focus on the new stuff like Dragon's Dogma 2, and we don't have distractions where we have to stop playing for extended periods of time to play these other games that have been going for 4 or 5 months. Okay, that's why we want to finish them. Fair enough? Okay. Excellent. Now, let's quickly go over the schedule for the rest of the week.
Oh, no!
Like I said, I really don't have much to talk about. One news story today. And then after that, we will probably maybe do some suggestion box. And
yes!
And all that. All right? More today, not a lot going on.
This is why I didn't take the day off. Okay. We're doing a suggestion box. I knew it. I had the instinct. The chiller instinct. It's happening, you guys. It's going to be a good podcast.
We have come to the decision that once
I'm just trying to like cope. It's just wishful thinking. Nothing's going to happen. He's going to call somebody a mouth drooler, and that's going to be the highlight of the stream.
Goes into the epilogue, which is a few parts, and then you're done.
I might as well just make the thumbnail right now.
A week or two tops, okay? The editors were interested in getting a little head start on Fallout 3. I announced this yesterday.
The editors.
Fallout 3 is going to be our next playthrough on
I thought you were a one-man show, dude.
My Fallout content over the years.
One-man circus.
Saw the original Fallout 3 playthrough. Well, get ready for an upgrade, because this playthrough is going to be significantly improved now. Okay, number one, we're going to take those very short videos that are like 7 to 10 minutes long, combine them into 30-minute parts. Number two, you're going to have proper thumbnails, proper titles, and a proper playlist.
Also, by the way, I got banned on Twitter, so
number three,
a friend of mine is letting me use their account because, of course, ban evasion is not allowed. So make sure to follow me over at @meerkat_mafia on Twitter, because I'm too toxic for the platform.
And it's going to be upscaled to 8.
So there you go. And we also have a nice compilation of flathead Phil moments. Look at this. Tummy time. I love that meme. The tummy time meme.
Is the resolution
and we got, of course, this one, the flathead.
With Final Fantasy 13 and Red Dead. But also,
just too chill.
Scrubbing of audio. And what I mean by that is trying to scrub the audio of the game so the music, the copywritten music that always gave this playthrough problems on YouTube, will basically be cleaned. So now you'll be able to listen to the whole playthrough, and you won't hear the music, and it won't be blocked, and it won't be, taken down for the soundtrack. Because how dumb is it that they licensed this music to be specifically in the game, but then you play the game on YouTube, and YouTube mutes.
Yeah, follow this guy too. He's good.
It's always been a problem. I remember specifically when this happened. It was around 2012.
I'm gonna steal some pictures for the thumbnail from him.
Okay, it was either 2012 or 2013. I'm on a vacation.
Yeah, this one.
Playing a Fallout game. And I had queued up a ton of extra videos that were going to go live while I was on vacation. I had scheduled them out and everything, so there'd be new parts every day. Even though I wasn't there making them live, I played all this extra gameplay early, and I spaced it out over the week. I start getting messages while I'm like in my hotel room on vacation. Are you aware that your videos aren't showing up? Or people are clicking on them and saying video unavailable. And I was like, well, why? And I went and checked. YouTube was literally blocking every single video for music. I was like, are you kidding me? I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is bullshit. You know? And this is when YouTube started with that. It was like about 12 years ago when YouTube started this whole content scanning, blocking bullshit on YouTube. So I know this is a problem with Fallout, and a lot of people have said over the years in their territories they can't watch the playthrough anymore. Certain parts are blocked because of the music. So that's the point. We want to wipe that. Okay? By the way, BoboX, very skeptical. He says, stretching a 4:3 aspect ratio into 16:9 never looks good. You're literally warping the picture. You should absolutely not do it. From the previews I've seen, it looks good. I haven't seen a full video yet. You know,
Yeah, it's gonna look like dog shit,
the point I'm
probably.
making is the editors wanted to get a head start on it to see how well it would look and how, you know, so we have expectations. We want to have tempered expectations. We don't want to be like, oh, this is going to look like it's pure direct capture 1080p.
Pure direct capture. Get a load of this phrasing,
this
dude.
camera I used to use was a 4x3 480p camera, and the 480p wasn't even good 480p. It was blurry. But because of the levels of technology being used, you know, take a look at the crispness of Final Fantasy 13 and Red Dead in certain parts. You realize those original playthroughs look like peach fuzz, right? It looks like super blurry. And the technology really fixed it up nicely. It's just a lot of work. And so with Fallout 3, it's kind of the same. Like, we might actually get these videos to look quite good, but it might take a lot of work. And the thing is, people have been asking for Fallout 3. They're like, that's one of the big synonymous playthroughs you used to do that was synonymous with your greatness on YouTube back in the day. The entire quest where you were confused, didn't know what to do, and you wandered around. When you got drunk during the playthrough and you're slurring your words and you accidentally walk into a town and start shooting NPCs and, you know. So, there you go. By the way, Nick says, scrubbing the audio is worse for everyone but you. Nick, what is better? Being able to watch the playthrough or having a block? What a stupid thing to say.
Wow.
It's not better for me. You want to listen to and watch the video, correct? You don't want to sit there with a muted video or a video that says not available in your territory, do you? I didn't make the music rules on YouTube, okay? So wake the fuck up. What a dumb thing to say in my chat. How is it better for me? My original playthrough is already live. What are you talking about? Boy, you're dumb. Anyway. So, the work has begun, and because of that, FYI, this week, there may be a couple days when there's not new videos on DSP Throwback in regards to the ongoing playthroughs of Red Dead and Final Fantasy 13. Okay? So, I don't know exactly, you know, what's going to happen. I don't know how many. We may have a few days where there's nothing. That's okay. You know, it's a goal to hit to try to say, hey, can we have a new video a day? It's not a requirement. It's just something that's been going really consistently well over the course of the last few months. But if we have a few days now where this work is being put into trying to figure out how can we improve Fallout 3 and make it viable, it's okay if we have a couple days where we don't have a new video. Okay, we'll see how it happens.
Yeah, well, also the people doing the videos do it for free, so you can't even really press them. You can't really,
But outside of that,
you know, rush them. Because it's like, you got volunteers working for you that you expect to work like employees.
Couple days probably with no video as the Fallout 3's worked on, okay? But I'm excited to see how it actually turns out. I want to see how this video looks once it's full widescreen, upscaled, possibly new frame rate, rubbed audio. You know, it should be pretty good. I'm very excited to see, but I don't know. We got to, you know, tempered expectations. I'm not expecting this thing to look like a direct capture crazy, you know, special edition playthrough. I just want it to be functional, you know? So, here's the thing. Once we get that test done and we see what's viable and what's not, then the template can kind of be created to make the whole playthrough. And then once Red Dead's over, then it could consistently be Fallout and Final Fantasy 13 alternating on that channel until Final Fantasy 13 finishes in a month or two, which will probably be about a month. And then we can do a new project. What will it be? Don't know. Maybe we'll do L.A. Noire, which is the other playthrough that's kind of really missing from the internet right now. Okay? Anyway, good stuff, right? Like, I'm excited for this. I can't wait to see how part 1 of Fallout 3 turns out. But, you know, we're going to give it some time, let it cook a little bit, and then see what pops out there.
Sure thing, dude.
And go from there.
Sure thing.
So, anyway, that's what's going on. And of course, people have also said, will you ever react to Fallout 3? And I'm like, I would love to react to my original Fallout 3.
Oh yeah, calling them serfs is a very nice way to refer to them. Serfs.
Is that now that if I react to something that has any copyright,
because he's the king after all.
the stream after
He doesn't pay people. They just work for him out of respect because he's the king.
Auto detects it. It literally gives me a giant warning on my dashboard. You are streaming copywritten content. Stop now or we will shut down your stream. It's like, whoa.
Whoa.
And sometimes I don't notice it, and then the stream
Take it easy, brother.
4 minutes, and I have to wait for it to clear. Obviously, what's the point of streaming if the stream gets shut down, right? So that's why we have to try to scrub these videos before I can even think of reacting to them. All right. So, Turtle Dude says it's bullshit. YouTube blocks entire music videos just for music, especially since a lot of the music in Fallout is from like the 1930s. Oh, it's constant. It's constant. Like Slayer has me do private react videos for him. And a lot of them are K-pop. It's completely random if YouTube decides to claim, block, mute. Like, it does whatever it wants. You'll get, in one video, it'll say, okay, it just got claimed, so any revenue on this will go to the owners. Fine. I don't care about that. I could give two shits about that. That's perfectly fine. If you want to claim and give ad revenue to someone else, go for it, right? But half the time, it's like, this video cannot be watched only in these territories. And it'll list, like, 40 countries across the world, and it's random. Sometimes it's the US, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's Singapore, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's Japan, sometimes it's this.
For me, it's just Russia, basically. In Russia, I don't expect many people are going to watch him, so I don't bother editing stuff out and everything.
A fucking checklist of
but he could try, like, genuinely being more transformative. Like, for real, being more transformative.
Who owns what?
Because just a big-ass DSP Reacts logo is not enough. And him just sitting there in dead silence and goat laughing every 5 minutes.
Invisible. Like, that's happened. I'll make an hour-long video for Slayer, completely blocked, can't, so then I gotta like upload it to a file sharing site so he can download it and watch it rather than just watch it off of YouTube. It's really stupid. Kenny says, if I tried to listen to J-pop, admittedly, no, the only exposure I have to these pop bands internationally is from like these private react requests. So I've done a bunch of K-pop because that's what Slayer asked for. No one's ever asked for J-pop, so I've never seen that. Okay. So anyway, let's get back to the schedule. Today's React Day.
After that whole thing with sending Slayer the videos because he needs to upload them on YouTube and stuff like that is terrible. Just like put it in an archive and upload it to some free file sharing platform. That's how I share files with everybody.
Of content that will be watching.
But of course, his dark side, Phil, that would require him to actually look something up, and he's not getting paid to do that. Of course, like why you expect him to do free work?
We just hit random and watch them in random order. But if you're an Ultra member, we're guaranteed to watch one of your videos a week, and that lasts for a month. So thank you to those who support that channel via the memberships. Likely, that's the only revenue I get on.
Are we in a golden era of lolcows? Well, they are kind of entering the mainstream now.
And of course,
so if not now, then maybe a year ago.
Also helps, super chats and memberships and stuff.
Because at some point, it's gonna get like, I guess, it's gonna feel inorganic. Kind of how the lolcow podcast feels. Because like when you try and forcefully milk lolcows, it just doesn't work. The milk doesn't taste the same. There's a lot of preservatives in the milk.
My original playthrough from 2010. It's been a wild ride to see the style of commentary I used to do, to see the choices that I made back in the day in that playthrough. I'll be honest, I didn't really remember all of them. I've done many playthroughs of that game. I did the original and alternate choices run. Years later, it came out on a modern console. I played it again. So it's hard to keep track in your head of what you did in which run, and I didn't realize, what I had actually done in this playthrough. So I'm excited for tonight to see exactly the conclusion of my first ever run, and then my final thoughts, because I actually did a final thoughts video after having beaten the game. So I'm curious to see what all that is, and obviously, you guys have been an amazing audience.
$5 from Rocco Sandwiches. Big ups, just finished TBS.
Hey, big ups, dude.
100 episodes for you guys soon.
Yeah, you're never gonna guess what we have planned for 100 episodes. Spoiler, we don't have anything planned yet. It's actually crazy.
On DSP Throwback from the last 6
weeks. Like 3 weeks away.
If you can make it tonight, be there for the live show, and if not, don't worry. The videos will go live over the course of the week, but obviously I'm excited to bring you the conclusion, and then 2 epic things. Number 1, I'll be gifting some memberships to that channel tonight.
Whoa, excitement.
Gift that YouTube gives you every month. That's number 1. Number 2, I'm actually going to set up the poll on which people will vote on the next Retro React. And the options will be continuing Dark Souls 1, of which we've only done one stream of so far. So we'll continue right where we left off at the Taurus boss. Is it Taurin boss? Taurus boss? Whatever it is. That's where we'll continue from. Number 2, Bully, the original run from
Argentine
2013.
pesos from Francisco Ramos Mejia, trying to rewrite his personal history and editing his bunnies gameplays so that they aren't as bad. Not to mention that almost no one will check for missing segments. This is super flowers pathetic.
Yeah, only the troll's gonna notice them being gone. Just how only the trolls noticed that he used somebody else's footage in some of those Let's Plays.
If you remember,
They just blatantly ripped it off from somebody else's channel and uploaded it as his original playthrough content.
the playthrough that started on
Actually outrageous.
halfway through became direct capture. That was when I adopted direct capture. Number 3, BioShock 1 from 2009.
Oh my god, why we get to talk about this every day?
If that's how it went. So let's see if that's how it goes.
Yeah, they left the watermark for that other channel there too. They couldn't even crop it out.
All right. So outside of all of that, you know, anything else going on? Not particularly. I mean, the next big thing is my birthday. That's April 6th. That's a marathon. So 2 weeks.
Every time he starts talking about his birthday, I just burst out laughing. It's the funniest shit
We're
ever.
gonna have food as I order food, and we're gonna have a feasting.
The next big thing is my birthday.
booze I'll probably get
It's my sweet 42.
to have during the course of the day. There's gonna be cake. My wife's gonna make me a birthday cake that I'm gonna eat live. We're gonna do a gaming schedule update where we're gonna go through all of the gaming schedule for the rest of the year. We're gonna lay out the dates of all the releases I'm interested in playing, and then we're gonna take a look at that calendar and try to figure out where are the gaps in the schedule that I could do other games and projects. Perhaps games I've missed out on, we could squeeze in there and, you know, schedule in. Okay? And then the other idea we had, we could bring back Tier Maker for the first time in ages. I haven't done a Tier Maker now in many, many months. And one of the ideas that's been brought up is ranking Super Mario Brothers games. Now, that could be a daunting task because there's been so many Super Mario games over the years. It could be hard to determine, you know, the rankings. There's a few of them I haven't played, but I've played most of them. The problem will probably be for me trying to remember some of the ones from the last, like, 10 years. Like, for example, if you were to ask me, what's better? New Super Mario Brothers, New Super Mario Brothers Wii, New Super Mario Brothers Wii U, I'd be like, what's the difference? I don't even remember. Because, you know, there was this time period.
Hey, what are we talking about those games that are for children?
Games
That you talked yesterday that are for children and your audience is
I can't
adults?
even remember.
You're gonna play them?
But
Oh.
we don't have to do Mario. That's one thing we can do.
Oh, we don't
My
have to do
question you is,
children's games.
What Tier Maker would you like to see me do during my
That's him
birthday?
calling them children's
Alright.
games, not me. I would
Mario's
play
the best
Mario.
idea? Or do you have other
Mario's
ideas?
fun.
Would you like to see me rank?
And also is a real Italian, unlike Phil, even though it's made by Japanese people. So he's about as Italian as Phil.
Like ranking candy or candy bars or something. I don't know why. I just
Ah, yes, we're gonna rank
Everyone's
candy
like,
bars
right?
like adults.
Everyone's like, oh, this candy's better than that candy or whatever. So I don't know. I'm just saying. Think about it, and let's try to determine in the next couple of weeks what should the Tier Maker do that we do during that event. Now, outside of that, what else we do during that day is up to you guys. You know, maybe we could do some multiplayer. Would you like to see me try Battlefront? Maybe we will have played it again before then to see if it's fixed. Maybe do some Battlefront gameplay. Would you like to see me?
No, you don't need to RSVP for the birthday party, but you need to bring your own booze and your own
And
food
go from there.
and basically everything else. He doesn't provide anything.
You know,
He's just going to be reading
so,
schedules and maybe even
Figure out
play a
what you
video
wanna do
game.
during that day, and you know, we'll try to determine what it is. All right. One thing that someone said, oh, do the epilogue of Baldur's Gate 3. Oh no, we're gonna be done with Baldur's Gate 3 by my birthday. Trust me on this. Mark my words. We'll be done with Baldur's Gate 3 by April 6th. We're not fucking playing it on that day. I'll be completely done with the game at that point. Okay. Okay. So that's that, ladies and gentlemen. We have one news story for today. So I might as well go to the news desk, even though it's not a big one. So you may have remembered something that I've been talking about over the last couple of years that culminated recently with some really bad news, but now we have some good news.
Hey,
Okay?
big ups for the
There's a
sub.
game
Top
company,
tier trash.
developer called Toys for Bob. This is a company that years ago made the remasters of games like the Spyro trilogy and the Crash Bandicoot trilogy. They did so well that it actually led to them making an entirely new Crash Bandicoot game, Crash Bandicoot 4. Okay? All of these games did well. Every one of them sold well. And not that they were blockbuster, oh my God, best-selling games of the year or anything like that, but they all made money. Okay? Now, Toys for Bob is owned by Activision Blizzard. Activision Blizzard decided in all of their wisdom that after their hit sales of these remastered trilogies and Crash 4, that this dev team should now be repurposed to make content for Call of Duty games. I wish that was a bad joke, but instead it was harsh reality. That Activision cared more about pumping out like DLC content and skins for Call of Duty than they actually did.
From Wesley H. The last time people marked his words about BG3, he said it wouldn't be Game of the Year. So
yeah. And he said Starfield would be Game of the Year. Oh, man.
So,
remember that? That was a hot take.
This entire studio for 2-3 years was repurposed to just make junk. Okay?
Man, I wish Starfield was so good. I wish it was. I wanted to put in like actual thousands of hours into it. God damn it.
Activision Blizzard by Microsoft, that Activision was laying off more than half the staff of Toys for Bob. What the hell? Let me get this straight. They make a bunch of great games that sell well. You then tell them, don't make any more of those.
Because, like, around the time it came out, no, actually a couple months later, around Christmas, I bought an Xbox just so I can play games like Starfield. So I played Forza, that was awesome. I played some other stuff, I forgot, some Xbox stuff. And they were great, and I wanted to play Starfield the way it's meant to be played, on an Xbox. And, yeah, the rest is history.
Why it's not productive, and then you lay them off. You're assholes. You want to know who should have been laid off? The management. You don't lay off the people who are doing the good work for you. You get your fucking shit canned. You get the boot to your ass, clear your desk out, sit there on the curb with a cardboard box full of your junk because you're an idiot. Okay? So anyway, the good news is two things. It was announced just recently. Toys for Bob struck a deal with Microsoft to go independent. They split from Activision Blizzard, which is owned by Microsoft now, and said, we're going to go do our own thing. And it worked, and they're now independent again. So rumor has it, perhaps they're going to hire back a lot of the employees.
Hey. Why are we doing rumors on the Level 1 podcast? This guy shits on everybody who does rumors. And now we're like, well, I guess, well, rumor has it this could happen. Hold on, Burnell. It was like a couple of days ago he was shitting on the rumors. And everybody that tried to do gaming coverage for clickbait because they covered unconfirmed news
got laid off to begin with. And then the good news, this news just came out this morning. Toys for Bob has officially struck a deal with Microsoft to make an original game under their umbrella and their own style. It will not be a fucking Call of Duty bullshit DLC. It's not going to be Crash. It's not going to be Spyro because those properties are owned by Activision Blizzard. It's going to be their own game. They're going to make an original game under their umbrella with Microsoft's backing. That's great news. That's incredibly good news because this is a very talented group of game developers who deserve to make good games, not to be shoved under the rug or anything like that. Now, what will the game be? We don't know. We have no idea what it's going to be yet. Will it be like Spyro or Crash, or will it be its own original outing, something completely unique? We have no idea. I'll be honest with you. If it plays like Crash or Spyro, I'd be happy with it. Those games are great. Yeah, they're casualized in a lot of cases, like Spyro. Some of them aren't that hard, but they're fun experiences. We don't really have consistent platforming style stuff anymore, right? Like when you really think about it,
platforming style stuff,
platforming games and stuff.
Well, there was the new Prince of Persia game that he didn't play, and now it's on like 40% off on PlayStation. So I guess many people didn't play it, but that actually looks like a pretty fun game. It's just not like the original Prince of Persia games that I grew up with, so I don't really feel like playing it.
Like that. Not often anymore. It's a kind of a forgotten genre. So to have a company that may be focusing on this, I'm happy for that, and I'm happy for them because really they were all at their lowest, and it looks like they found a way to rally and come back. And this is what I wish for every company, like BioWare right now. I feel so bad for because they were at the top of the world making games like Knights of the Old Republic and Mass Effect and Dragon Age. And then all of a sudden they're told, drop everything you're doing and make Anthem. And they told them, we don't want to make Anthem. This is too much like Destiny. This is not going to work. And management told them to do it anyway. This is EA management, who's the parent company, right? They make Anthem. It's a piece of dog shit. It flops, right? So now they go back, and now look at how behind they are. I think their next game will be the new Dragon Age game, but even then, when is it coming out? It's been in development for like a decade. Where the hell is it, right? Is it going to be good and live up to expectations? And then after that, they are already working on a new Mass Effect, but Andromeda was such a flop. They're hoping to revive the series. But what's going to happen, right? It's very frustrating when you see these companies that have had great track records flounder because of bad management.
but the name of the company doesn't represent the people in it, because some of those people that made the classic bangers that we know and love, they don't work there anymore, and they've been replaced with some other people that can't really make bangers, or maybe they're not allowed to by the publisher to make bangers.
What I'd like to do is,
just because it's called BioWare doesn't mean that the core team that used to make those bangers is still there.
At least one shout out to do today.
Yeah, let's do some shout outs.
Is saying, is there problems with the stream? I'm not seeing any. When you said that, I took a look.
There's problems with the stream, of course, because it exists.
Connection. We have a steady viewership. I'm not seeing any issues. So if you are having issues, I'm sorry. It may be a local server there, because sometimes YouTube has these more localized servers to where you live. It could be that their server where you live is screwed up. I'm not sure what's going on there. Okay. Ooh, excuse me. Ooh. Man, sorry. Bunch of disgusting belches. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. You confirmed it was him. Where is the suggestion box? Let me find it. Oh, crud. Well, that's not good. Basically, the suggestion box
$5
reset.
from Wesley H. Phil is wrong about Anthem every time he brings it up. They were forced to use Frostbite and rush it out, but not forced to make the game.
But weren't they also forced to use Frostbite for Andromeda? And they were super unfamiliar with it? And, of course, with Anthem, they had to work on a completely different style of game that they've worked on before. So they had to make a looter shooter with all these different mechanics and a bunch of stuff that later on got changed or canceled. It's very confusing. Because then they had the idea of Anthem 2.0 and like a huge roadmap of content just to get people to buy the game, and it didn't work, and they didn't put out any of it.
So I have to go back and try to find where we had left off, because I don't know where we left off. Let's see. I'm trying to find where we were. Okay. Here's the OP Boon one that we had read about gaming news. Okay.
Okay. Let's just read something that's going to get you pissed off. Come on. We're bored here. We're lacking the content. We need the content. Please give it to me, Phil.
Okay.
Please.
I'm gonna start summarizing the suggestions in some cases.
No.
Just kind of
100 Argentine pesos from Francisco Ramos Mejia. Schreier wrote an amazing series of articles about
yeah, I remember that.
and what went wrong. He even explains what happened to the old guard. They had to cancel a project in its early stages to do Anthem.
Well, that's unfortunate. But I remember Jason Schreier's insider articles on that kind of stuff.
Podcast. If I want to see you talk about something, I don't want to skim through it back and forth till I find it. We try that. For example, we try to use the AI timestamps, and then they get put into the comments, and then sometimes my editors go back and put those into the
editors. How much work do your editors do that nobody's getting paid for? My editors. Look at this dude.
That's something that I think has been...
And now we're just straight up referring to them as my editors, even though none of them get paid at all. Not even exposure. They don't even get a shout out.
Implemented. You could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's already been implemented. So thank you for that suggestion. Remove bloat from the podcast. Shorten recap segments. Shorten day off segments. Shorten talking about your schedule. So just shorten everything. Make it not a podcast is what you're saying.
Yeah.
The whole point of a podcast is to have topics to talk about.
Yeah, fuck off. Shorten your whole life and fuck off. Get out of here.
You don't like the topics. Just shorten all of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. Someone else mentioned this. Take more advantage of your mini PC. There are lots and lots of free or cheap indie games that would be fun to jump around in every once in a while. This one I 100% agree with. I have that mini PC. It's literally sitting there collecting dust. Hell, since I played Chrono Trigger in the fall, and then we played that horror game, Phantasmophobia or whatever, at Christmas, and then I haven't used
Phantasmophobia.
RPG Overload. Like, that's why. And I agree with this person 100%. That is a squandered resource. There's a lot of stuff on PC that I know.
This is the craziest shit right now is that his ops is just a genre of video games. We're not even like being hurt by the trolls anymore. It's just the genre of video games that is his biggest problem right now.
Playing, whether it's Fightcade, whether it's indie games, whatever it is. I know we could have more variety with that. The problem is I'm so busy. Indie games are on there. We will do that this year when it gets to the point we can. We're gonna do
that when the people that were asking for it go away and they just go watch somebody else. That's when we're gonna do it. And he's gonna wonder, what people were harassing me for this. They were yelling me for this.
Time. The problem right now for me is I'm in demand doing a million things and there's not enough time to do them all. Thank you for the suggestions. Okay. Let's see here. Here we go again. Cut your podcast to only 30 minutes. So the podcast will literally be what then? Just a news segment and that's it?
No, Will, you're just going to talk about stuff more concisely and briefly instead of going on tangents that make no sense and wasting everybody's time with a 2-hour podcast that has no right being 2 hours long.
Again, I keep telling you guys the point of the podcast is to get all of these topics out of the way so when we play the games, we can focus on them. Imagine if I go to boot up a game and literally the first 45 minutes is everyone bombarding me with questions. Are you going to do this? What do you think about this news story that just happened? What about this here? What's going on here? Then I can't play the game. The whole point of the podcast is to get that out of the way. Cutting the podcast down to 30 minutes makes no sense. All evidence leans towards the podcast is doing better than the gameplay.
What is the evidence? Money? Is the dollar signs is the evidence?
Why would I cut down the podcast?
All of the evidence, by the way. You got tons of people asking you to do this or to not do this. And we're still doing this.
Podcast. Stop suggesting the same thing over and over when it makes no logical sense. Then maybe I'll take your suggestions a little bit more seriously, right? Okay.
Oh, wow. Look at this. Wow.
Here's a great one. My genuine advice is to consider an exit strategy. Okay, here's my exit strategy.
This is actually insane. This is some of the best advice he's ever got. Consider an exit strategy. Your channel is in the toilet. Every single one of them. You're complaining about it every day. Please consider an exit strategy. Please, I'm begging you.
Strategy, okay? I'm going to click on your name, and I'm going to hide this user from my channel. Here's my exit strategy. I exited from having to read your stupid comments.
Oh, my God.
Okay, let's continue.
You deserve everything, Phil. You deserve it all.
I exited very fast. I didn't waste any time on that one. Okay, let's continue. I just got to find where we were. See, now this one, I don't know if this is true or not. I would like your guys' opinion on this. You ready? Your capture card has audible white noise on constantly. When you mute your mic, but the capture card is active on a silent screen.
Yeah, nobody cares about that.
There's
Come
a lot
on.
of noise that is obvious.
It's like the last thing you gotta fix. The last thing.
All right,
There's like 1,001 terrible things going on. What are we doing right now? And we get a flathead segment. Look at that shape. Beautiful.
So what I'm seeing, because the white noise, by the way, is not coming
perfect
from
90 degrees.
I'm seeing that there is some kind of a noise coming out of the capture device.
Epic podcast.
Silent. I'm going to open the chat because I want to see what you guys have to say about this. All right. So I'm going to be completely silent right now, and I'm going to be silent for like 20 seconds. And I want you guys to tell me what you hear. Okay, ready? We're going to start in 3, 2, 1.
This is an actual meme. So look at this. What is this? Pignosis? Why are we doing this? Is he spreading the positivity? Is this spreading the positivity? What are we actually doing right now?
Okay.
Look at this guy.
Did you guys hear anything?
Nada. I don't know.
Nothing. I don't hear anything.
So you got debunked. What a dunce.
White noise. A very slight white noise. Subtle, but it's there. Okay. So I guess my question would be, if there is a very small white noise, how can we stop it? I could put an audio filter on the capture device, just like I put audio filters on this microphone. But I'm not exactly sure that would, I don't know if it would fix it. I don't know how. Here's the problem. If I put audio filters on the game audio, there's potential that now some game audio will be dropped. And obviously that's the opposite of what we want. You don't want to have game audio dropped. Is there a solution around that little white noise?
No. It's over. It's over.
Dentronics says hardly
stream is
noticeable
canceled
at all.
Okay, so if the podcast is doing better than gameplay, wouldn't you want to tell people? If you want the usual podcast updates, watch the playthrough.
And he's gonna do it during the playthrough?
Audience has asked for him to do this at this point, but he definitely listens to his audience.
Well, because he can't multitask.
From Wesley H. Bro, he wants to live like this.
Yeah.
I didn't want to believe it, but there is no helping him.
No, you better believe
He
it.
needed the exit strategy years ago. Oh well.
He needed to follow the exit strategy years ago. This shit is just like, he's on borrowed time right now. Borrowed time. It's over. It's been over. He just doesn't want to admit it.
Some people just say they can't hear it at all. If it's audible, I don't hear it. I have Dolby Atmos headphones too, says Cheetah Man. You know, maybe it was the mic. Because remember, these are suggestions for like a month ago. Maybe it was the mic, and maybe now putting the filters on the mic has fixed the problem. So most people are saying, don't bother. I wouldn't worry about it. Okay, fair enough. Thank you. That was from a Jessica. Thank you for suggesting that. I mean, again, I don't know until we test stuff. And I don't know what else we could do to fix that. My issue with your podcast is recapping the previous day and talking about the schedule. Already explained till I was blue in the face why that's necessary. It's not changing. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I want to address the back and forth pull from viewers over whether you should do more gaming content versus more interactive non-gaming content. It seems there's no consensus can be reached. Everyone has their own preference. While it's true, most wanting more gameplay might outnumber those asking for other types of content, I would like to point out the value in catering to the dedicated group of fans that follow your more personalized and interactive content. It's my interpretation that due to your long 15-year legacy of mostly being a gamer, you have a larger contingent of people who want to see gaming. However, excuse me. Due to the diverse amount of games out there, there isn't really one type of game that will satisfy all gamers across the board. When discussing non-gaming topics such as reactions, gaming news, Q&A, storytime, narrative, etc., these may have less demand from your full-time audience, but typically the ones who show up tend to stay engaged and focused during those kinds of events. These interactions offer something unique which cannot be replicated through typical gaming videos.
What are these fake-ass analytics,
more
bro?
Demand for gaming content when you request feedback is because there are many voices that share a desire for more gaming, but they don't all participate equally when it comes to the gaming streams. This skews the data towards gaming demand. Due to the diverse amount of games out there and your audience's preference for various games,
Bro, that's just a bunch of yapping.
that will unify all the more gaming crowd and bring them all in at once. Let's work with easy numbers and say you have 100 people.
Oh
Say
my
60% of
god.
your audience wants more games. Of those 60 people that want the games, 30 of them actually want a fighting game, 20 of them want a shooter, 10 of them want an RPG. As you can see here, already there's division within the gaming side alone. On the flip side, let's look at non-gaming content where only 40 people wanted that non-gaming content. And of those 40 people that showed interest, almost all of them are willing to engage and interact with whatever you're producing. It's probably a very good point. In summary, while
Probably is just like literally made up statistics by somebody that has no access to his actual analytics. And he obviously cannot understand his analytics because he's Dark Side Phil. So we literally just need to pull analytics out of our ass and use fake numbers and fake percentages to make sense of anything.
both sides have valid arguments, it's apparent that a unifying element exists among those who favor non-gaming content. By nurturing engagement in this area, you can potentially foster stronger connections with your community overall.
You're not fostering anything, bro. You tell him to eat shit out of your ass and to fuck off and not watch your stream. What are you gonna foster?
Continue what you've been working toward with the variety of content you currently provide, but perhaps leaning into...
Yeah, it's literally just a kiss-ass message that's made to cater to him and to validate his bullshit and to try and compromise with him or at least get to him in any kind of way. So the guy who wrote the message doesn't get called a mouth drooler and be told to fuck off.
Non-gaming area slightly more, ensuring consistency and quality and building up your audience for non-gaming interactive content.
Yeah, no.
This strategy allows room for growth of
A bunch of yapping.
enjoy the interactive content that you want to eventually make more of anyway. Thus, it behooves you in the community that builds up your content towards what you want it to be, and not just what the current target loudest group happens to ask for. Thanks for taking the time to read this. All right. What do you guys think? I'm just curious. I'm going to click over to the chat. What do you guys think about that?
But what do you think about that? Or he just read it as a TTS. He just reads it the way Sundar reads stuff for me. He didn't read it for himself to understand it and to get something out of this. Yeah, what do you guys think about these 6 paragraphs I just read?
You guys think that working towards and nurturing more non-gaming content makes sense? I think I understand the point. What they're, in a nutshell, yes, a lot of people want me to play games. The problem is there's never a consensus on what game. So when I play a game, I'm isolating the audience that didn't want that game. It's different if there's, like, for example, if GTA 6 was coming out tomorrow, 98% of my audience would want me to play GTA 6, right? When the Elden Ring DLC comes out, a ridiculous amount of my audience is going to want to see me play the Elden Ring DLC. Those are the big ones we can all agree on. But when we're not actually focusing in on those big games, basically the attention is so pulled in different directions that I can't please everyone. Even though the majority of people say gaming, when I play a game, it doesn't satisfy the majority of people because everyone wants a different game. As opposed to when people say, you know, I'm not so much into the gaming anymore, but I like just hanging out with you. So no matter what kind of chill game content I make, whether it's podcasting, whether it's a chill night stream, whether it's us reacting to my old gameplay like Heavy Rain, those more personalized interactive streams are more appealing, and they appeal to a wider group of people because they're not, oh, I only want to see you interact with us in this one way. Most people are just happy to just interact, right?
Yeah, but bro, you just, like, your problem is you're not very fun to hang out with because you're a downer. You're just a lame guy that makes everything worse and less joyful.
Gotcha. I totally get what this person's saying. And like I said,
so basically nothing. He feels that he's just gonna do what he's already doing, and whoever doesn't like it can eat shit out of his ass.
The future
with a fork
is to diversify and split more down the middle. Like right now, I'm like 80% gaming, 20% other content. Because if you think about it, podcasting, the React show, and the Throwback channel are all different from just the pure gaming. But
pure gaming,
right? At least almost 5
unadulterated gaming.
So it's probably an 80-20 split right now. I think the goal would eventually to be try to go 50-50. Still play a good amount of games, play the biggest high-profile games everyone really wants me to play, but then take my time and split it into other stuff. And it's going to mean playing way less games over time, but I think that's the way to go, honestly. You know?
So yeah, just like I said, he's just going to do whatever he already decided he's going to do. And this whole paragraph's worth of recommendations and bullshit, it was just to validate him.
I think that me being a full-time gamer for the rest of my life is going to work. I'm about to be 42 years old. How many people want to see a 40, 50, 60-year-old fucking playing video games, right?
Bro, 40 is different from 50 or 60. It's 10 years difference, or 20 years if we're looking at 60. Bro, it's like you're not even going to make it to 60.
I'm just saying. I mean,
I'm just saying too.
But again, this is something to explore as we move down the line. I think what we're doing now is kind of working, you know? Okay. Instead of recapping the previous day on the podcast, do a recap segment on the podcast each week and recap things in detail there. That will never work because too much.
No, don't do any recap. You already have the daily wrap. Why are we recapping a thing that you already put out? And you recap already in a special video that's made for you to recap stuff.
Just think about this. In one given week, there could be new games. There could be continuing games. There could be things that have to change in the schedule because a game doesn't work, right? There could be things on the fly that happen that we have to adjust. By the way, by talking about this stuff every day, it gives me the feedback I need to figure out what to do in the future. So here's a perfect example. We just started discussion about my birthday marathon. Within a couple days of me bringing this up, all right, now we know, oh, let's do a tier maker. But what should the tier maker be? Well, maybe it'll be Mario. Maybe it'll be something else. We'll continue to talk about this daily.
Oh my God.
If I literally waited until Sunday to bring it up and I only bring these things up once a week, that's not enough time.
You don't need to talk about stuff daily for you to figure out what you're going to do. Just talk about it once, run a poll, and decide on the spot.
You see, I understand if you get bored of something being mentioned every day, I get it. But at the same time, you have
What
to
are you going to do about it?
purpose,
So nothing. I understand if you get bored, but deal with it.
right? The thing, people just want instant gratification
Oh my God.
and don't
Call them
have any
entitled.
kind of reasoning or rationale as to why something shouldn't be changed. For example, people say that I approach the suggestion box as a debunked box. No, it's not. I've actually adopted a lot of things from the suggestion box so far.
Like what?
As direct things in
Changing
my
your
content,
titles?
putting filters on the mic.
Oh my
having the
God.
pause button be implemented
Whoa.
in my content. Some of the ideas we've come
The
up with.
pause button is objectively a drawback to his streams because it gives him more of an excuse to just get up and go somewhere else and do something else. The other day, he literally got up and left to trim his nail.
events and things based off of the suggestion box, correct? The thing is, I can't implement all of it. So the moment that I say, oh, this doesn't work or whatever, oh, you see?
Yes, we can implement all of it, so we just implement the bare minimum. It's not even the bare minimum. It's like superficial surface level stuff. Performative implementations.
Debunking and Phil's, he's just yelling at, no. Again, why is everything in life black and white? Right? So you suggest...
Because I don't see color.
Recaps doing once a week. And I say, that ain't going to work. Only recapping once a week isn't enough because it doesn't give you enough of a perspective on things going on each day to get the feedback I need to make the correct decisions. Oh, you see, Phil debunked it. Well, no, I didn't debunk it. I just said this is why I'm not going to do it. And I respectfully decline that suggestion. But you don't have to put drama into it because you act like a 5-year-old.
How many people did you call idiots that gave you a suggestion in the suggestion box? That sounds like it's not respectfully declining. It's like you calling somebody an idiot. That's not very respectful, Phil. If it was, I would just call you an idiot all the time. Oh, wait, I already do because I don't respect you at all.
Okay?
Sounds
All right,
good
we'll
to
do
me.
one more, and then we're going to get to shout-outs. The suggestion that I gave in May of 2013 is more relevant than ever, okay? You remember back when your capture card gave out in late 22 and early 2023, and you had those hangout streams until the new one arrived. They were enjoyable, chill, and surprisingly successful.
Really?
You mentioned wanting to do more hangout streams in the future. This would be just like that. Yes, if you remember, my capture card broke, so we basically did...
You know what? I actually like this idea more than long-term. I like the idea of the suggestion box just being the echo chamber box, the validation box, where people just tell him what he already wants to hear, so he never gets better. Also, look at that flathead. That's a nice 90-degree angle. I love that. Linda forgot that tummy time.
Streams where I went into the hard drives in my closet to see what videos were on the hard drives.
Keeping it flat.
Led to DSP Throwback because we found all the raw gameplay footage from back in the day. And we had a couple other streams where we just hung out and shot the shit because I couldn't do anything else. Picture this. Late night streams with a relaxed, casual vibe. During the stream, members suggest topics, news stories, short video clips, in a members-only thread while the show's live. You keep an eye on this thread throughout the night.
No, that's just too much work.
A gaming news story, a funny article, or a viral video clip. You record a quick 5 to 10 minute video sharing your thoughts, incorporating live chat into the conversation. Excuse me. Whew. This way, you'd have a series of concise, single-topic videos to upload to DSP Reacts, catering to viewers who prefer shorter, more digestible clips. Over the course of a 2-hour late-night stream, you might end up with 5 or more of these videos, which you can then upload throughout the week or even weeks. I've seen other streamers do something similar, booting up a stream and hanging out with their viewers.
Oh, so Review Tech USA, basically.
Someone brings a topic in chat, the streamer shares their opinion or watches a relevant clip, which later ends up on their clip's channel. This could be your version of that. One common complaint nowadays with members is how competitive submissions are for DSP versus the internet. The new show would level the playing field. It's entirely up to you and your interest in their topic, story, clip, whether or not you cover it. Plus, for members who only catch night streams, it gives them something to look forward to on DSP Reacts. Personally, I can count on one hand how many DSP versus the internet streams I've managed to attend live. The show doesn't need a formal name. You can simply call it a hangout stream. Hey guys, tonight I'm doing a hangout stream.
No, everything he does needs a formal name because he runs a formal business. And he wants to put as much prestige as possible in that business. So everything needs to feel like a show that's on TV, even though it's not like that in any kind of way. But it needs to be phrased as one, so we can LARP as if we're running a successful channel.
Instantly, people would know it's a laid-back, informal affair. Well, I like the idea, but we would definitely have to refine it from this original idea. So allow me to explain. I know exactly what you're talking about. All right? This is the kind of shit that Moist Critical does. This is the kind of shit that
Review Tech USA
does. All right? It works for them. but there's a reason it works for them. It's not because they have a members-only thread that people post into. It's because they have a team of editors and screeners.
Yo, what do you got a team of? Bruh, you got a team of editors.
Okay?
And you don't even get to pay them.
Actually have people who take in all of these suggestions, scrub the suggestion.
Okay, you already got enough slaves. Just get some more.
Formulate them into a post or thread of what they feel are the best suggestions, the kind of stuff that that content creator likes, and then that content creator goes through it live on the stream. Okay? That's why it works. In regards to me.
And also, that's not why it works. I mean, it's just not how it works.
Okay?
It's just not.
I don't have that. All right? Now, I know what you're saying. You're saying do a...
But, Phil, you guys forget, he is a content curator. So he can do that job of the editor who curates the content himself because he's an expert at that. He calls himself a content curator. Well, not anymore because I guess he realized it's embarrassing to do that, but, well, I don't know. He used to be.
Members only thread. The whole idea of members only doesn't work. Why? Because people have found a way to abuse memberships on YouTube.
Ah, there we
You
go.
literally spend less than a penny and get a membership.
Why are we doing DSP Reacts then? That is completely member funded and they provide all of the content for the show?
So membership only doesn't work. It's the same as just having open thread. It really is at this point. Okay, I just want to make that clear. There's nothing that can really be done about that. Anyone can pay a penny to get a fucking membership now and just spam a thread with a bunch of just duty. Okay? I like the idea, but primarily the people who do this are people who have Discord presence, right? Sign up for my Discord, go into the submissions area, post up clips you think that the content creator should watch this week. Our editors will scrub that and put that into a thread that the person can now watch on a hangout night. I have none of that. Okay? I wish it did. I wish that that's the way that my community went. I tried that in the past. You know, I had my own forums. I had things like that going on. It did work out. Over the years, when I became a running meme.
He just straight up admits he's a living meme. Well, no, he's a running meme. He's a power walking meme, if we can call that.
Negativity, meaning everyone just wanted to crap on me. Basically, so many people now hate me that whenever I would attempt to do something,
finally, he accepts it.
Gets ruined, right? Like, barely can I even maintain the DSP Reacts channel because DSP versus the internet almost failed because of this membership debacle. Luckily, I figured out how to fix it, and it's been fine since. You know, it's a little bit more work for me now to scrub stuff, but for the most part, it's still working. Okay? But I like the idea. I do. I think that this leads to a whole idea of a new late night chill stream. We're all hanging out. We're just...
Oh, I've called this a long time ago, that eventually the late night streams are just going to be a Q&A. It's just going to be him sitting there. No more games.
Having a good time.
This is just the natural progression of DSP being fucking lazy and games just not bringing in enough money. So we're just going to sit there and talk about whatever.
You guys suggest stuff. I go through a thread of stuff like that and you say, okay, here's these suggestions, and we, you know, skim through them or whatever. And see if it's something that's interesting for me to watch fully or whatever. You know, I like the idea, but it only works as a team effort. Those shows that you watch people do, those could never work with one person. You know, they're only...
Why not? What if the person just watches videos they care about and they're interested in because they know what they like and they actually watch videos in their spare time for fun?
They're huge content creators who have teams of people working for them. I don't have that, you know? Listen to me. I'm lucky enough to have the moderators that I have show up when they do. They're volunteers. You understand? I don't pay them because I can't afford to pay them. The editors that I have are overworked making the content for the DSP Throwback channel as well as thumbnails for all my videos. They don't have extra time on top of it.
They're overworked. Are they paid?
Like, this other suggestion was also made a week or two ago. Why don't you have people cut news stories out of your streams and make them separate videos? Because that's like a full-time job. You know, again, all these suggestions are absolutely fabulous. if I were a big YouTuber who had a lot of money to hire employees to do this for me. I would love to do it. Like, I like this idea. I would be thrilled to do this show. But with the resources I have, I can't do it, you know? It would have to be, we would have to refine the idea. How could this be done? Without, it can't be a members only thread because membership means nothing now. Anyone can get a membership and just fucking throw in shit. So that's not going to work. But what, you know, how could it be possible? Let's think about it. Let's continue to discuss this idea. I like this idea. I'm sure now people will hear this idea and think, okay, maybe here's a spin on it that we could do or something that we
Yeah, the spin is going to be just Phil sitting there on the night stream doing Q&A. That's going to be the spin. And being like, okay, guys, let's, are you guys going to give me some topics to think about? Maybe he's going to go on Twitter in real time. Oh, yeah. Real-time Twitter segments. Be like, okay, let's see what people are talking about. Apparently, this game, like, nobody cares about it. It's a pile of shit. Look at this guy saying, oh, it's full of microtransactions and it's for fucking dunces. Blah.
work for Phil. Because, again, I would love to do the show. That sounds like a great idea. No way I could do it on my own right now. And I can't hire people to do it for me like the big YouTubers that I know you have in mind do. Okay? I mean, just remember last year when Asmongold, okay, reacted to me. He literally says, why'd you guys submit this for me to watch? Everyone wants me to watch this clip, huh? And he watches it. He's like, I don't understand why you haven't watched it. Because everyone submitted it. People scrubbed it. Said a lot of people submitted this, you know, Asmon, will you watch this? And then he watched it. As opposed to, how would I do that myself? You know? Okay, so the thing is, I like that suggestion. That's a good one, but it's not one that I can do in its current form. We have to kind of refine that suggestion better. Okay? Okay.
Okay, sounds good. But you're
All right,
also a
that's enough
dunce.
suggestion box for today. Thank you guys for your suggestions.
Yeah, thank you for your suggestions. Outside of the ones that I called idiots
We'll see.
and morons,
Those are good
and
suggestions.
told them that I don't
Or
take
them.
them seriously.
I really appreciate
But thank you.
Let's not
I
get
appreciate them.
shout-outs.
Yeah, let's actually get some shoutouts.
$2 from Copsidifal. Age isn't the problem. The
Nope.
problem is he's so boring.
He could be 80. If he's fun to hang out with, nobody would care. Matter of fact, that would be a selling point.
200 Argentine pesos from Rollback's not code. He's skipping around now. The 30 minutes one said to stop begging and stop schedule. He also just skipped one about recaps and schedules being bad. Also, these are more than a month old, so saying, stop suggesting it, is dumb.
Yep. Or it might be the more recent one, but that's also old as
If
hell.
someone wrote all of that and gave legitimate reasons why he should shorten the podcast, he would have skipped it and made fun of that person.
Absolutely, yeah. That's regarding the ones that had
50
like
Argentine
multiple
pesos
paragraphs
from Rollbacks not
in the
code.
fake analytics.
40-year-olds don't talk about their birthday party as much as this 41-year-old does.
Yeah, man, I cannot believe how low we can go with this.
Copsidifal. You are enkitten for asking to stop having the schedule
Entitled.
daily rap repeated every single day.
Yep. You are entitled. You're expecting instant gratification.
$2 from Wesley H. Then why does he allow memberships on DSP Gaming?
Because you get all these benefits. You get to bypass slow mode and also be a part of the slow chat. That's how it works. It's just the natural way of the universe.
On the YouTube side of things, we got nothing. No super chat.
50 Argentine pesos from Rollbacks not code. How could this be refined where Phil has to do zero work and others do everything for me but Phil profits, but also if it doesn't work it's your fault.
Well, that's how you refined it. You get other people to do the for you.
And the reason why Phil can't afford to pay editors is because he's paying Hulk Hogan to leg drop him and say keep being the
Yeah.
content curator you are, brother Detroit till I die, meerkat mob.
He spent like $500 on Bubba Ray Dudley or something. Twitter.com. Speaking of which, follow me there because I got banned. But you're not following me. It's a different guy that pretends to be me. That's not actually me. So yeah. What do we got here? We got TJ Gamebox. I want to see exactly how much he paid, allegedly. This is not even the real guy. This is a fake dude. What? I'm just gonna play it. Let's...
No
I'll
memberships.
find it out by myself.
No gifted memberships. Okay? Now, I'm just going to say something quickly. This has been a pattern over the last several months where a lot of people support the streams via tipping, which is great, but there has been a huge...
Wait. I'm going to pause this because this is going to be a huge begging segment. Excuse me, pointing out facts in logic segment. So this is it. He spent $589 approximately, by the way. It's an approximation. If he got the Bubba Ray Dudley token or card or whatever the fuck that's called, the champion, and he spent $736 if he didn't get him. So let's hope he got him, you guys. And let's hope you follow me on Twitter because it's very positive. I'm going to be nice now. I'm not going to tell people to kill himself anymore. Because apparently that's not allowed on the internet.
In the YouTube side contributions, notably memberships because of the fake ones. And this is hurting the business bad. I'm hoping that when we get into new games in a week or so, you know, when we're focusing on Dragon's Dogma, maybe Alone in the Dark, doing a co-op playthrough with Cat, maybe bringing in multiplayer like Battlefront, maybe bringing back Final Fantasy VII. Maybe then we could get those things back on track.
Maybe.
All
Maybe
right?
not.
Right now, I don't even know how I could even begin to even say stuff about it when we're still playing the same RPGs for month 4. Okay? So, but I'm hoping we can get that stuff back on track. Because it's, I mean, case in point, here we go, shout-outs, literally 0 contributions on the YouTube side. There's actually good tips. Don't get me wrong. There's good tips here to shout out, but nothing, I was like, nothing on the YouTube side, huh? Like 0. Okay, let's get started here. Our first contribution today is a $10 tip from BB Phil. Hold on.
I'm holding on.
This is basically
Troll.
a bunch of drama stuff. All right, I'm
Uh-huh.
gonna read it, but I'm just gonna tell you guys there's zero. I'm not entertaining anything in this suggestion. All right, I'm gonna read it word for word because the person did contribute $10, and I appreciate that. But there is absolutely no way, shape, or form that I'm entertaining this or that I'm taking this seriously. Okay, you ready? I'm gonna read. I'm forewarning you. Okay.
$5 from Kopsaidifal. He already got in. New games like FF7. DD2 nothing changed, but yes, Alone in the Dark will fix everything and save the channel.
But that's because it's not an RPG. You realize it's the genre of video game that is destroying his business. And once they go away, everything is going to be back to normal, you guys. We're going to be back to prominence. Just please trust me and hope as hard as he is hoping. And maybe someday it can work. Just believe in it. Manifest it.
Okay, ready? BB Phil here. It would be nice to see you play Street Fighter against an old school legend in a special event one day. I know Keemstar wants you to play Call of Duty versus Wings of Redemption in front of a live audience in Las Vegas.
Yeah, Keemstar wants too much.
What?
But he can make it happen if he wanted to.
Reading that. I mean, huh? First I've heard of it. That's fucking hilarious. As I
And of
understand
course,
it-
Wings would absolutely demolish him in Call of Duty, and DSP would absolutely demolish Phil in Street Fighter. That's just the games they're good at.
you don't want to do business with the man because you don't agree with how he makes his money. Is that still the case? I don't want to do business with the man because he's a complete scumbag. He's a liar. He's definitely lied about me.
Why didn't you tell that to his face instead of kissing his ass and sucking his balls and licking on his tip? Why were you acting like you were about to cry when you were faced with the guy?
Literally has tried to bully me into things, lied about our interactions. Yes, the way he makes his money is completely underhanded. He's a scumbag. In addition to that, I don't trust him in any way, shape, or fucking form. The guy has said so many awful things. By the way, he's threatened me multiple times, saying he's going to make negative documentaries about
Yeah,
me.
that never
He's gonna
happened.
Contact my
Those documentaries, like, what happened with that? Is that still in the works? I hope it is, but it's not.
friends and family to say awful things about me. Should I go on? Should I go on to continue reasons why I should not work with this person? I think it's pretty self-explanatory, don't you think? Okay. I also just like the fact he has guys on the Lalcow podcast sniffing their chairs and crawling around on the floor for money. But let's face it, he does not know how to set up a lucrative... Oh, he does know how to set up a lucrative event. He should definitely set something up with Alex Valle. Okay. Allow me to make this abundantly clear. Never in my entire life will I ever have any interaction with Keemstar.
You already did, though, and he shit all over you. You guys remember that segment of the interview where he was like, okay, Phil, can we agree that we're both toxic and we make negative content, except I'm infinitely more successful than you are? And he just sat there like a deer in the headlights. He was so cucked. He was so cucked. It was so humiliating.
At all. All right? I want nothing to do with the man. I never want to speak with him. I want no business.
You already
dealing with
did.
him. Nothing. Zero. If I literally never heard his name again for the rest of my life, I'd be better for it. All right? He has nothing positive to offer on this planet, and I'm sticking to my guns on that. I want nothing to do with him. Okay? Doesn't matter how much money he can make, what event he can set up. It's toxic content. I'm not involved in it ever. Period. Okay? Like I said, the guy literally has gone out of his way to lie, to bully, to do all these fucked up things to me, to try to force me into content that I refuse to do. I'm never doing it.
But you did content with him, and it's the best piece of content you've ever done, judging by the reception of it and the cultural impact, if you can call it that.
That's hilarious. That's the first I'm hearing he suggested I play Wings in Call of Duty in Las Vegas in front of a live audience. What the fuck is he even talking about? Like, when was I ever like a competitive Call of Duty player? When did I ever have a rivalry with Rings of Redemption in Call of Duty? The guy's a moron. All right? Just ignore everything he says, and you'll be better off for the rest of your life. I mean it. Like, just pretend like every time he opens his mouth...
Again, his point is that both of you are morons, and both of you are toxic, but he's just successful, and you're on level 1. That's kind of the whole thing. He didn't even disagree with that.
There's farts coming out of it, and actually, you're going to have a much better life.
And
okay?
something about farts.
Say about that.
Okay, sure.
Let's continue.
But yeah, chat, you guys are right. He also wanted to do a beef, like a fake, literal like wrestling beef with LTG so they could steal Evo's spotlight. That's what he thought would happen. And then LTG told him that he's balding and he should start focusing on his sexy. And that's why he's looking the way he's looking right now. Because for him, this is focusing on his sexy. He's wearing a bunch of like bargain bin secondhand clothing.
Unbelievable, right?
Instead of bargain bin secondhand gaming t-shirts.
Unbelievable. Guys,
wearing his grandpa's hand-me-downs.
I'm paying it. I'm reading shout-outs now. Okay, you can stop.
Tell him to stop watching your content, Phil. Do me a favor.
All right. Good Lord.
King Finals is the 4th of April.
Okay. I'm trying to scroll up, but there's so many things that have been said, I'm not even going to pay attention. I received an incredibly generous $50 tip from Lisa Lou, who says, have a great React day. Thank you so much,
there
Lisa
we go.
Lou.
Thank you, Lisa Lou, for saving the stream.
I really appreciate that. Let's get that up on the leaderboard as the biggest contribution so far today.
That means that this stream was amazing so far. That's what it means. Because people supported, dude. They find value in this. Oh, man. That hairline has been getting rough. He's not even, like, balding evenly. It's just, like, the least graceful way you can bald. It's like he got radiation poisoning or something. Like, what is wrong with you, dude? What are you eating? You got microplastics in your blood, bro.
Correct.
Look at him focusing on his sexy, putting on those glasses. Yeah.
Adam with a $10 tip. This is Adam. Happy React Day. My favorite day of the week. Really? I guess a lot of people are enjoy the React stuff. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you very much, Adam, for a $10 tip. Boy, I added this together completely wrong. We're now at $70 in tips total, not 10. So thank you, Adam, for a $10 tip this morning. I appreciate that, Adam. Okay.
Now we're just working the cash register. We're not even getting anything done. It's just like typing people's names, giving them receipts.
See here?
Sure, dude.
I
Sure.
received a $15 tip. Let's see here.
Nah, let's not do this.
I received a $15 tip from 1 Minute Man, and he wants to talk about the philosophy discussion.
What? Not Baldur's Gate 3?
Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh, no. Go fuck yourself.
The advice did not say strike out and attack everyone. Wrong. It was war. That's incorrect. I did not choose war. Okay. And, okay. That's it. Again, still nothing on the YouTube side.
Bro, what you did? Dude, You almost got $100, and now we're just crying about the lack of super chats because nobody wanted to troll him today. What the fuck?
So if you guys would like to chat, please tag me in the chat. We have a little extra time before we get set up for the
No
reaction
way.
today. Let's see what you guys want to chat about.
There's no limit to the
Yes,
greed.
Derek, happy Sunday, and yes, I'm excited for heavy rain tonight.
Of
Yes.
course he is.
Yes.
And Derek also says, at dspgaming, I hope you have a fantastic birthday this year. You are awesome.
Yes. Dark Gaming says, I did advanced mathematical calculations. You'll beat the final boss of Baldur's Gate 3 on Wednesday. Well, if that's the case, good. Now, you said there's epilogue. See the end. React to the Heavy Rain DLC. Right now, I have no plans to do it. We just did 6 straight weeks, or we're about to do 6 straight weeks of Heavy Rain. That's enough. I would much prefer to do other stuff for now, and then maybe go back to it later on when it feels way more fresh. I don't want to do another 4 weeks of reacting to Heavy Rain. It's just going to get boring for me. Epilogue is 1 to 2 hours chatting with your party. Maybe do it on your birthday. Newer content.
Sounds good to me. Can we just have dead air
No, I've
for the
never
rest
seen
of the
Room.
stream?
I know what it is, but I've never seen the movie.
50 Argentine pesos from Rollback Snort Code. Wearing a white undershirt when it's barely off-white is the opposite of getting your sexy right. I have rags that are whiter than that shirt.
I don't know. I don't really see it,
$5
dude.
From Wesley H. Phil. Keen is a liar also Phil. Yes, I play WWEC and have been playing it
Yeah.
while denying it for years.
Yeah, I'm still playing it. Yes.
$2
Even though I
from
told
Man of the
everybody-
North Star. 41 years old.
Everybody's
talking
a
about being
conspiracy
bullied.
theorist.
SMH.
Yeah, he's been bullied at 41 years old. This is some kind of meme shit.
$5 from Movie Sign. He dresses like your creepy neighbor in these kinds of shirts, wearing Bermuda shorts, black socks, and slippers while going to his mailbox.
You know what? He should just wear a wife beater. That's all. Just a wife beater every single day. Why not? Why not?
Haley says, my throat clearing is too much. They have to leave, and they'll come back tomorrow. All right, I'm very sorry that I have the human condition of phlegm.
Well, it's not very common, so it's not really all that accepted. He's acting like everybody just got the post-nasal drip, and they constantly eat their snot all the time.
That I cannot control in my throat.
Yeah, you can actually control where you get to clear your throat. You have full control over that. That's an action that you decide to do.
I'll see you tomorrow. Maybe I'll have less phlegm. Sounds like a plan.
$5 from Wesley
What an
Hayes.
awful thing
He
to
says
say.
all this, complains about lack of YT site support and then Q&A and doesn't get why people complain about the podcast.
But dude, this podcast is mega positive. Look at this. $95 in contributions. By his standards, this should be the best podcast of the year. It's amazing. People love this.
What if I was gassy? What if I was constantly just ripping farts on the stream? Would you leave then?
Yeah, because people shouldn't be constantly ripping farts on their stream. You should control that because you decide when to rip a fart.
What if I had a sneezing fit? I hay fever, a sneezing fit. Would you
Yeah,
just run away?
yeah, because it's not a well-mannered thing to do it on a public live stream, especially a podcast. It's a podcast. People are supposed to listen to this and not be bothered by you farting, sneezing, clearing your throat, or snorting. That's not supposed to be a thing that happens. And if you cannot control it, then don't have a podcast.
What if I had a giant ear infection and there was oozing wax and pus coming out of my ears down the side of my head? Would you leave the stream just because of that?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Or you should just turn off your camera so we don't get to see it. Like what? Like how low are your standards? Would you watch somebody's podcast if they constantly acted like this?
This is sounding great.
This is not like he's not making the point he thinks he is. That's the whole thing. Because that's how deluded he is. That's how lost in his own little world he is. That he thinks those things are perfectly normal. And he uses this to make what he believes is a great point.
Dark Gaming says, I pretty much dropped Final Fantasy VII Rebirth for Dragon's Dogma 2 at this point. Rebirth was boring the hell out of me. Wow. David H says, do you regret buying the deluxe edition of Like a Dragon as you didn't use much of what you bought? Yeah, this is a case where basically buying the deluxe edition, all right, gave me a lot of stuff that on paper, on face value, it looked like I was going to get use out of it. But once we actually got into the meat of the playthrough, you realize no. Like, for example, they gave me a whole bunch of crafting items for blacksmith stuff. But what you don't know...
Yeah, we don't give a fuck. We skip this. He's trying to justify why he paid way more than he had to.
So, basically, yeah, I would say this. That most of the premium content is pretty worthless in the game.
And he's literally just repeating himself now.
Once you've beaten all 3 levels, you've beaten the game, what do you... And by the way, I do really like the game, but
But he also likes the game.
I spent a lot. I think it was like $40 more, too. And I think I could, if I just spent like the $10 more to get the middle version, I would have gotten the linebacker and the tennis ace still. We would do it co-op, right?
Yeah, now we're talking about why Don Doko Island didn't work. Because Cat got
All right,
bored.
guys, anything else? Where you raise your bat up to the sky and an orbital laser comes down and hits everything.
I thought that would be great if it happened to you.
I've already raised $95 on a podcast. I'm about to do 2 shows today. I'm making ad revenue on everything I do.
Oh,
I'm pretty
look
sure
at
I have
that.
a job.
Yo, look at that flex. Earlier on, he was talking about how his business is hurt. And now we're just flexing. I'm going to do ad revenue on everything I make. What about the React channel stuff that gets claimed all the time? That you use that narrative to beg for money. Bro.
It's a profitable one, too.
And it's a profitable... Oh, look at that smirk. Look at that smirk. He makes more money than you by sitting on his ass and begging for it. Are you jealous already? Are you jealous?
The record.
For the record.
Just because you don't agree with it or you're not happy about it doesn't mean it ain't a job. It's definitely a job.
Asking people for money for some perceived value that you see in what you do is not a job. Because, like, his whole business winds down to and boils down to him just asking for money blatantly. With different reasons every time, but it's just asking for money.
That is correct. That is correct, Skiznillet. It is definitely a useful, interesting business. It's fun. It's fun doing what I do.
What have you learned from it? What skills have you acquired? You can't edit shit. You don't make your own thumbnails. Well, he got the skills to make a title, but it's not a clickable title.
RD008. Whoever got T should have taken Phil instead.
Well, you know, that's just how fate turned out, man. It wasn't written.
500 Argentine pesos from Francisco Ramos Mejia. He always oscillates between 2 extreme opinions. 15-year content creator and tiny guy.
Yep.
Business hurt and profitable business that makes more than LTG. ETC.
Yep, depending on the angle that he wants to push. And sometimes within the same stream, he would fluctuate between the two, depending on what's the narrative at the segment, at the moment.
Even with all, I'll still stick to my guns. Even with all the crap I go through and all the stress and all the nonsense from all over the internet, it's still very fun to do what I do.
And he's only saying this because he's sitting on $95 right now. If he was sitting on 25 from 1 Minute Man, he would be crying and he would be the small guy.
I love this job. It's the best job I've ever had. It's the only job that I've actually felt like well utilized and well appreciated, you know. Again, it's awesome being your own boss. Imagine working at one of these game companies. Imagine working at Toys for Bob and being told you're making Call of Duty DLC for 3 years and then you get laid off. Right? What the hell kind of life is that? It's awful. So I'm happy that I'm in a situation where I'm the boss. I control
He's
stuff,
the boss.
you know.
He doesn't even get to decide which video games he's playing.
Awesome. And
his entire existence is in the hands of like 5 people.
The fun and positive conversations, interactions we have every day, it means the world to me. It makes me love what
that's one of the reasons why people give him money to begin with, is because they have this incredible power over him, where you could be 1 Minute Man, and if you wail out enough, you can just give him a dedicated segment a segment dedicated to yourself every single day, where he gets to address your message and go into detail about it and discuss it. Just because you're this much of a pay pig, you have this much control over him.
Do and want to come back. I love the variety of stuff we're doing. You know, it's excellent. I received a $5 tip from an anonymous tipper who says, hat. Well, here's the thing. We will have a hat. However, this stream is over, and there's not enough time to vote. So what we'll probably do, I'll set up.
Oh, wow. We're going to burp.
Stream on the DSP Reacts channel. You guys head over there, and I'll put the poll on that stream. So while you're waiting for the show to start, you have something to do. You can vote on the hat.
Uh-huh. So is this stream actually over?
The stream goes offline if you're... Let's adjourn, shall we? Thank you, guys. Great podcast today. Actually, some pretty good suggestions in the suggestion box today, which I appreciate. I just hope that we can refine that suggestion about a chill stream show where I review user-submitted content. I say user, like viewer-submitted content. I like that idea a lot, but we have to figure out how to make it work. I can't do it by myself, and sadly, members-only threads are worthless because of the way that YouTube has screwed up memberships. So if we can refine that idea, perhaps that's a show for the future. But in the meantime, thank you all. Great show today. And I hope to see you over on DSP Reacts if you can make it, or on DSP Throwback later tonight. If not, I wish you the best. I'll see you all tomorrow for another show and another full day of gaming as we go into RPG.
Epic. The money buff gets him so delusional. It's crazy. It's crazy. He's now like these last couple of minutes, it was like he was on the top of the world just because OIC gave him $50. It's insane. Wow, he's legitimately lost the plot, man. He's legitimately lost it. And I guess that's gonna be it for me. I'm not watching the react. I don't got the energy for that. I'm just gonna go and relax and unwind and whatever other buzzword you want to say. So let me play you some sound clips. I haven't been playing any of them today. So here you go, this one.
Fuck all you hoes! Detroit till I die, motherfucker!
$2 from Wesley H. Is DSP a findom or other viewer?
He might be a findom for his wife, because I'm pretty certain she's jobless at this point. So she's entirely 1,000,000% dependent on him. And then, of course, some of his pay pigs definitely have a findom fetish towards him, because it gives you great power to decide somebody's destiny by just giving him like $50 from time to time. So yeah, it's crazy shit. Okay, this is the last sound clip. Thanks everybody. I'll see you next time. Until then, yong out.
Hey, you social media trolls, y'all can suck on these nuts. That's what's up. We'll be home.